but find whatever it is for you. What's gonna be, like, what is, I can't give that up. I can't give up bread and pasta. Just figure out what that is and give it up. Quit being a sissy.
I'm monitoring my blood glucose, and currently it's super low.
84-hour fast, highly recommended. Autophagy is a big benefit. Overcoming the suck is another big benefit. Proving to yourself who you are and what you're capable of, huge benefit. But overall, it gives your body and your metabolism a chance to reset.
Oh, hi! I've been fasted since Sunday, which is about 60-something hours, meaning I haven't eaten any calories in 60 hours. What I'm going to do now, as you can see on the screen, because of my continuous glucose monitor, I'm monitoring my blood glucose, and currently it's super low. I am going to attempt to dig a hole using a pickaxe and a shovel to see what happens with my blood glucose. Gotta have the gloves. These gloves are about done. I buy these gloves in a 3-pack at Costco, and they're leather, but I go through them so fast. Let's take a look at how you're gonna start the hole. And this top part is gonna be mostly rock and dirt. I don't know what is gonna be underneath it, because here we've got this whole rock wall. I'm hoping there is no rock underneath it for about 24 inches.
There it is. Fire pit! That fire pit is going to be our little gathering spot. And we're gonna put chairs, maybe a swing, hammock. Here's a visual of what happened. Again, wearing a CGM, continuous glucose monitor, seeing that there was a rise of 25, which indicates my body was like, okay, you're really depleted, but we're gonna help you out and create some glucose so that you can get the job done. And as you can see here, it kind of regulated after that a little bit higher. Now this is a dangerous level if you've got metabolic health problems. If you don't, this is probably pretty standard. Low but standard. Let's look into the details a little bit further. Okay, so Thursday I broke an 84-hour fast. What did I do? I ate an egg. I had some bone broth. I ate 2 eggs. I had some bone broth. I consumed a Fat Fit chocolate Go. It was magnificent. And then a couple hours later I had a Champion bar. Highly recommended. What kept me going during the fast was my electrolyte blend. It was sodium, magnesium, and potassium. This is another one of our Explorado Market products. It helped me avoid any headache, any fatigue. It was exactly what I needed to not get cramps. Pro tip, if you do get cramps, consume a good electrolyte blend. But also, if you get a cramp, spray magnesium directly on the muscle that's cramping. It's like magic. It just works. It dissolves the cramp in your muscle almost instantaneously. It's fantastic. The 84-hour fast. What happened? My body, the cells, so here's the deal. Hashtag not a doctor. The cells in your body constantly are working, doing their job. When you fast or you don't consume food, some of your cells have a chance to get recycled. Autophagy is the process or the degradation and the breakdown of a cell, which sounds bad, but it's really beneficial. You get rid of the old, you usher in the new, and it helps your body cope with disease. It helps so many things. Research it. It's autophagy. Looks like autophagy. I'm sure some really British doctors pronounce it that way. We're weak. I mean, people, let's just face it. Most people are pretty dang weak, and this allowing us to kind of put ourselves in something that's really mentally uncomfortable. Physically, it might not be that uncomfortable. For me, it wasn't physically uncomfortable. Mentally, on Wednesday, I wanted to eat a burger so bad. That didn't happen, so I waited for Thursday.
again, just to get through that mental struggle. But it teaches you a lot about you. You know, what are you able to give up and quit being a sissy? Like, what do you do? What do you give up on a daily basis or a weekly or monthly basis that's difficult? You know, I'm a big believer in this. So there's two things I do: fasting or getting uncomfortable without eating food, because that's pretty much the hardest thing for me. And the second thing, about a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer, I quit taking warm showers. So this is hard in the winter. This is mentally really hard. I have not taken a warm shower. I mean, when I'm saying cold shower, when I take a cold shower, I'm saying it's the lowest thing that you can do. And we're on a well in Colorado. So it's the lowest that you can possibly get your little jobber situated. And that knob wants to go further to the left, and you just can't. And that is hard. I recommend it. And I made a commitment to myself that general showers, so far it's been 100% showers, I am 100% never taking a warm shower ever again. Now, how's that for adding some struggle into your life? But find whatever it is for you. What's going to be, like, I can't give that up. I can't give up bread and pasta. Just figure out what that is and give it up. Quit being a sissy. So do that. Fasting is the best way to prove you're not a sissy. Exercise, that's another one. That's the easy for a lot of people because it feels so good when you do it. So find something that's really kind of makes you uncomfortable and do it. Fasting is that. So 84-hour fast, highly recommended. Autophagy is a big benefit. Overcoming the suck is another big benefit. Proving to yourself who you are and what you're capable of, huge benefit. But overall, it gives your body and your metabolism a chance to reset. One thing that I learned, I did a little test, don't recommend doing this, but I wanted to see what happened. I did consume, after I broke the fast, probably about 8 to 10 hours after I broke that fast, I consumed loads of sugar, stuff that like you shouldn't normally. I mean, if it was like your birthday and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have some sugar, just like a lot of sugar, because I wanted to see if I could really bump my glucose and what would happen on an empty body of zero glucose. I woke up that morning, it said low on the CGM. It didn't even give me a readout or a number. I mean, it was low, and I felt fine. I felt okay. Mentally, hungry, body, it was a little tired, but fine. I loaded the sugar, and what was interesting, I didn't even break 100 after eating an abnormal amount of glucose, sugar, carbs, sweets, ice cream, candies, whatever I had or could find, I was downing it. It didn't even break 100, which was I had no clue. So maybe it was replenishing the glucose that was lost. I don't, hashtag not a doctor. Pretty awesome experience. I highly recommend it. If you're unsure about how to do it, I'm writing a blog post, give you some tips. Really, the tip is stop being a sissy. That's tip number 1. And tip number 2 is electrolytes. Consumption of electrolytes. If you're doing a dry fast, that's a different deal. And feel the power. You know, that day 2, day 3, there's a little bit of a sense of a euphoria at times. There is a little bit of lethargy. You kind of feel a little sluggish. But generally speaking, there's a big boost of energy that comes from that. And the day after, kind of, if you picture, I don't even know what a good example is, but you go into the situation of doing something really difficult. You're a beast now. You're like, put me out in the wilderness for 3 weeks and I could survive. But you just did something amazing. But what happens is that next day when you start replenishing, and I don't recommend replenishing with a carbohydrate like that, stick to fats, protein, and minimal carbohydrate. But that next day you almost get like a spring-loaded action where your energy level is high, and those following couple of days, in the past, and I'm not in that stage right now for this one, but in the past, that was shocking how much energy and mental clarity and positivity comes from finishing that fast. there's no, if your body can handle it, there's no downside after you complete it. The downside during it's probably like, well, it's kind of hard. But you got this. You're not a sissy. So what it is now, I'm getting in. Where is it? The sauna! Later, people.